comment, rate, subscribe, merch in the description. Check out our Facebook pages. We got marketplaces you can buy and sell stuff on. This is Masterclass episode 33. Block, negate, or take damage. Right. So this is to explain that concept. Some people should have already by now noticed that I'm like moving away from comboing, moving away from or heavily relying on battle cards. Well, the idea that I don't want to combo, if I'm using battle cards, I don't want to use them to combo. Like, I don't want to use them to combo defensively, and definitely don't want to combo them offensively because that's just a waste. I've been leaning towards the idea of using battle cards that are already strong, or unisons that are really strong. So when I play them, I swing with them, and that's it. Swing, no combo, right? So I'm trying to go with the swing, no combo strat. And it works. So, why not keep going that route, right? I'm always trying to do the next thing. I'm always trying to get to the point where it's like, because here's the thing. For me, especially in many card games, I'm always trying to do what everybody else is not doing. Because that's what gives me the advantage. I'm doing what everybody else is not doing. For example, old story, in Magic, typically you need lands in order to play cards and to play the game. That's the basic, layout of the game. But there were some cards that had zero cost. They were artifacts. So they were generic. You can use them in any deck, right? Regardless of the color of your deck. And there were some cards that came out around like the Mirrodin block and whatnot, where they had affinity for artifacts. They got cheaper for every artifact you had. So I had the bright idea of, play these artifacts that cost 0, right? Which will make these other artifacts cost less. And these artifacts that had affinity were mainly creatures. So it's like I have artifacts, right? Cards I could play and keep on the field and use them for free, and they make my creatures that have affinity cheaper. So I could essentially play them for free. And and I built a deck on that. Ironically, I still had lands in the deck, but I only have 4 lands. 60 card deck with 4 lands. I still have the deck, of course. 60 card deck, only 4 lands, and the rest were artifacts. A lot of the artifacts were 0. Then there was a couple artifacts, creatures that cost 0. So the point is that while everyone else was playing lands and using lands to play cards, right? I was playing cards for free. So on turn 1, I will play half my hand or my whole entire hand on turn 1. My whole hand, just play everything in there, end my turn. Everybody else is just, all right, play a land, end their turn, or play a land, tap, play a creature, end their turn, right? But I'm playing a whole bunch of stuff as soon as the game starts. I actually wouldn't mulligan back in that day, with that deck specifically because of how much of an advantage I had, how unfair it was that I could play everything for free, that me mulliganing so I can have a really good hand would have been unfair. So as a rule of thumb for myself, I didn't mulligan. I just shuffle my deck, draw 7 cards, and then just play whatever hand I have. If the hand's not that good, that's fair. Because if my hand was good, I have the unfair advantage. That's the thing, since I have the unfair advantage, I put a restriction on myself to make the deck fair. Still unfair, right? It's still busted, because essentially the concept is there's like, I want this deck to play like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, right? Because I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh before at the time, and then I was like, all right, let me build this Magic deck. And I was like, okay, I want a deck that when I play it feels like I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh while everybody else is playing Magic, right? So that was the concept, the theory behind it. So that's why I built the Artifact Infinity deck. And then the rest is history when it comes to affinity and Magic. The point is doing stuff that other people were not doing. I was playing certain cards like in Yu-Gi-Oh that people weren't using. Giant Trune, for example, Scapegoats, which makes 4 tokens. So I was already doing things that other people didn't do. Other people didn't play tokens in Yu-Gi-Oh at the time, right? Now tokens are very popular, especially with link summoning. But there was a time where tokens weren't popular. You know, it wasn't common for people to play tokens. There wasn't that many token cards, but at the same time, not many people play tokens. Not going to go into the full into everything, but just giving some examples of I'm always trying to do what everybody else ain't doing. Since everybody's, you know, playing super combos, for example. Now, me not playing super combos a lot, it's not because, well, everybody's playing super combos, so I'm trying to do the opposite. It's not really, it's just the fact that it's like everybody is used to comboing, right? Used to playing, you know, comboing, and that's part of why they like super combos, because it's 10K for free, since a lot, you know, and that's good, of course. We wish we could use more 10Ks for free in our decks. You know, I support that idea as well, right? I definitely was one of the people that wanted a whole bunch of zero cost 10Ks in my decks when before super combos, the keyword was actually created. Because I've been playing since set 1. So set 1 we had a Piccolo and a couple other super combos, right? But they didn't have the keyword super combo, and they didn't have the rule where you can only have 4, right? At max in your deck. So the idea was like, oh man, if they make more of these, I will get more. So if they make more, you know, blue super combos, I'm gonna throw them in my deck. That way I have 8 super combos. Then if they make more, 12 super combos. You get the idea? The idea was, oh yeah, put more. So I started off with super combos, but then eventually, you know, they made the keyword skills like, oh, you can only have a maximum of 4 in your deck. It's like, okay, only a max 4. All right, fine, so be it. That would have been busted to have more. Okay, fair enough. It's their game, they do whatever they want. Then the way the super combos worked, where you had to have 4 less life in order to use them, in order to even get to 10K. I could care less for the drawing part, right? I can do without drawing a card, but I would love to get the zero cost 10K, right? But I have to have 4 less life. That means I have to be losing for me to get that effect, for me to get that power boost, that combo power. That sounded trash. That wasn't a good effect. It's like, okay, I don't like how these cards work. So then I stopped, you know, using them. Then made sparking negates. I did use them for a while because they were the better upgraded versions of the regular, not sparking negates, I mean sparking super combos. They were the better versions of super combos. Like, this is how super combos should work. It should be based off of the cards in my graveyard that determine, you know, me drawing and, you know, and whatnot. But it'd be nice that we just straight up get the zero cost 10K right off the bat. That way I can use it as soon as turn 1, turn 2, like that kind of. I don't want to wait until I have low life and then use it. I want to use it when I want to use it. Preferably, the sooner the better, right? So eventually we did get those, and that was cool for a while. But then I got to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't really need, you know, just a 10K. I need more. I want effects like Shigesh and Android 16 and stuff like that. It's like I want effects. I don't want just the combo power. I also want it to, the card to do something else. Not just give me zero cost 10K and that's it. And that's all it's really worth. So it's like, all right, then chop on Supreme Kai. I was already using those cards already, but it's like I lean towards using them more. It's like, okay, I want to focus on using them more. Get the 10K plus the double strike, which is more beneficial to me than just 10K for free. I have no problem paying in the energy, because I always have energies to spare. I can pay. I have no problem paying 1 energy for the extra effect, which is the double strike. So I'm paying 1 energy for double strike, not for the 10K combo power. That I get for free. It's the double strike that I'm actually paying for. So I have no problem paying for what I want, which is the double strike. Then over time, you know, it's like, well, since I'm mainly focusing on the Champa and Supreme Kai, there's no need to waste any space in the deck for super combos. Even if we do have the sparking super combos, which were the good super combos at the time. It's like I'd rather just Champa and Supreme Kai, so let me take those out and put something else better. Like, I'd rather negate. Instead of trying to use a super combo to try to out combo an attack, I'd rather just negate it. So then that's where Videl, 1 energy negate, you know, Weast Cohesion, for example, I would use. So this deck right here, which is my extra unison deck, which has obviously extra cards, and then Unisons. So that's why it's called extra Unisons. Is, you know, showcasing the idea that's like, yeah, as you can see, no battle cards, therefore pretty much no combo power. There's technically combo power in here through the effect of Senzu Bean, Demonic Absorption, and Broly's auto with his minus X effect, where you can remove markers from this card in order to boost your leader. So that is the closest we have to combo power in this deck, is through those 3 cards. If we had instead of like any of these cards, like instead of this card, for example, and we had the power, the Protector of the People, then that would have been another card that gives us combo like power, right? The ability to technically combo. Because the idea of combo is just to make stuff stronger, like your leader, your battle cards, unisons, you know, that kind of stuff. So make them stronger for protecting you, you know, for defense or offense. But I've been moving towards playing stuff that has 20k power and above, so that way I don't have to combo to protect them, because they're already strong. My opponent has to combo to try to deal them damage, to try to take them down, right? And the way unisons work, they don't easily die from one attack. So even if my opponent attacks one of these unisons and combos to make, you know, their battle card or leader or whatever they're using to attack with stronger, they're just going to knock a marker off and that's it. My unison's going to still be there. So since unisons stay on the field longer than battle cards, why not use more of them, right? Why not have a variety of them in your decks? Which is why I play a lot of copies, a lot of unisons, because they tend to stick on the board longer. Granted, you can only have one at a time, but that's fine. Usually, you know, once they stick on the field, they already put in a lot of work. Like Raditz, for example, he can block 2 attacks, plus he can attack and let me draw a card. So he's perfect in that regards, right? I can attack with him on my turn, and he's 19k, so he's already going to be strong. Granted, my opponent can use 5k combo power to stop this attack when their leaders awaken. So that is something they can do. But hey, they're giving up 1 card from their hand. I'm going to use this card to draw a card, so I'm going to add a card to my hand. Then I'm going to restand it at the end of my turn, and then use it to block twice on my opponent's turn. Which typically I'm going to block my opponent's leader attack and my opponent's unison attack. If the unison's 15k, for example. If the unison is a 20k, well then I'm going to be losing a marker, but it's better than losing life. So blocking, as you can see, and then this has the auto where it can restand after it blocks the first time, so you can block with it twice, obviously. So this serves the purpose of being able to allow me to attack and go offense on the offense, right? But also be able to be on the defense. And then it has the -2, so I could bounce one of my opponent's creature battle cards to the hands. So it has some type of spot, has some removal. So it's very versatile in what it can do for 3 energy. Obviously, the more energy you use to play it, the more you can do with it, and the longer it sticks on the field. Like for example, you could pay like 4 to play it, then -2 to bounce something, and then it has 2 it'll still have 2 markers, so you can use it to block attacks, and even if the attack is strong, it'll survive, because as long as that has 1 marker, it'll be good. So you can do stuff like that, of course. But if it dies, you just play another one, right? If your opponent manages to take it down and they waste resources to take it down, then you just made them waste cards from their hand. You made them combo. I'd rather make my opponent combo than for me to combo. That's the play style that I have. My opponent is the one that's comboing to defend themselves, to try to deal me damage, whether I let them or not, right? So back to the term of block, negate, and take damage. That's the decisions I want to make. I want to decide to block an attack, negate an attack, or I just take the damage. Right? Typically, when it comes to taking damage, you typically are just going to take single damage, right? Single strike damage, not double strike, triple strike, quadruple. Those are the ones you want to negate and block. You want to block and negate double strike, triple strike, quadruple strike, right? Common sense. So that's what I focus on. I focus on negating attacks that do a lot of damage. But then attacks that deal just 1 damage, those are the ones I'll take. So that way I don't have to give up anything. You know, why combo when I can just take the damage and plus and benefit from it? Especially if my opponent used cards from their hands just to deal me damage. No, let them deal me the damage. I'd rather them waste 4 cards from their hands to deal me 1 damage than to try to stop them and they still have those 4 cards in their hands that they could use later. I want them to waste their hand. So there's that. I want to make sure that I always have cards I can use and play and do things with. So I don't want to end up in a scenario where, like, you know, I combo a combo piece from my hand, like a card I needed for a strategy, and now I combo it just because I'm trying not to take damage. And it's like, yeah, I should have been negating, I should have been blocking, I should have been guaranteeing that my opponent didn't have easy access to my life through attacking. So that way, so that way when I want to make my moves, my plays, I have cards to do so, instead of being like, oh man, I wish I didn't combo that card, I wish I didn't do this and do that. I've seen some people, you know, when they play, you know, combo something important, you know, something that was a bad idea to combo off because it would have actually been useful. Just like charging something that would have been useful, you know? So I want to make sure that I have control of what I'm charging, for example, so I'm not charging anything good. I don't want to combo anything good that I would need, you know, to win the game. Like, I don't want to combo an Obuni to try to stop a leader swing when I could just take the leader swing, right, or negate it or block it, and then play the Obuni the following turn and get the advantage from playing the Obuni card, right? So that kind of stuff. So it's like, I'd rather do that. So of course I've been, you know, leaning away from comboing. Now I'm not against, you know, obviously using battle cards. I still use battle cards in certain decks. Let's see. This is like my most recent, you know, creation, as it were. As you can see, the idea here, right? You see, there's very little combo power, right? This is part of what inspired, you know, made me make this video, because my comment to the idea that they noticed they have very little combo powers in my decks, and it's like, yeah, part of it is because I'm leaning to, since I'm not comboing defensively as much or even at all, as well as, you know, I definitely don't try to combo offensively. You know, I do my best to not combo offensively, because that's just a waste. Especially if your opponent manages to out combo it anyway. It's like, damn, that was a waste of a card, because they were able to out combo. And then maybe they had a way to draw cards, you know, draw cards back from that. You know, from doing that, there's like, okay, I negged, my opponent plussed. Well, that was unfortunate, right? They're in a better position than me, and that shouldn't be the case. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the better position, right? So as you can see, the cards in here, you know, a whole bunch of 30K. So this is my Sin Shinron 30K OTK deck. Obviously what makes it OTK is the fact that I could use 6 yellow energy to play up to 7 Shadow Dragons from my drop with different card names, not character name, card names. So since they all have different card names, you know, I can bring back one of each of these back from the drop. So I can get 5, you know, 30K attackers This one's triple strike. This one's triple strike. You notice they have the unique tag, but since you know, right, pretty much all of them have the unique tag except for the 9 drop, but you're only going to play one of each anyway. So you're playing one of each, and you got some good 30k beaters there. Okay, so this one is Blocker Revenge, triple strike, and then ones are just 30k uniques. But the main point is that they're 30ks, which means in order for your opponent to out-combo them, listen to that, right? For them to out-combo these attacks, they need 20 combo power to stop each and every one of my attacks. So if I do bring back 5 of these, and I'm swinging at my opponent, right? They need 20 combo power for each one of these attacks to stop them all. That's without them having negates, blockers, right? So we're going to assume they're tapped out. They pretty much don't have free negates, for example. All they could do is try to out-combo these attacks. But it'll be difficult because these require 20k each. That means you're going to need about 2 super combos per each attack. But you only allow 4 super combos in a deck. Which means you could stop 2 attacks, but you're not stopping all 5 of them. Right? So let's say you had 4 super combos and you used 2 of them on the first 2 attacks. Alright, cool. Right? First 2 attacks you were able to out-combo them with the 4 super combos you had. But now you're going to need 20, 40, 60 more combo power in order to stop the 3 remaining attacks. Which is going to be really tough. Because that means you needed to have about 60, 40, 100k. You needed 100k combo power in your hands. You need, so that's, and the goal is to try to obviously make sure your opponent has a low hand size, that the likelihood of them having, you know, 100k combo power in their hands, which means their whole hands had to just consist of battle cards, which is not 100% likely to be all their whole hand full of battle cards. There's going to be some units and some extra cards in there, right? So, you know, their hand size, so their ability to out combo all 5 of these attacks is going to be very limited, and that's the idea. You're taking advantage of these cards being so strong that your opponent is going to struggle to out combo them. So when you do this, more likely they're going to be at 2 life anyway. You only need 2 of these cards attacks to go through. You don't need all 5 of them to go through. You just need at least 2. So that's the idea. As you can see, we have a lot of negates, lots of negates. We've got unisons, which have, you know, floodgate abilities, negate, you know, blockers, the ability to take your opponent's battle cards, all that good stuff. Right, we got a big blocker here, so we got a lot of defense that we're going to take advantage of, and then, you know, through our leaders' ability, you know, we'll be able to bring back a whole bunch of these. So yes, you will be comboing these defensively, right? Combo to protect yourself, you know, not trying to, you know, lose too much life, right? So you're going to negate attacks, combo out attacks, you know, to try to stay in the game long enough to be able to pull off your deck's main strategy, which is your 6 energy active main. As you can see, there's a lot of yellow in here, so you can't afford the 6 yellow and then bring back a whole bunch of 30Ks onto the field, and, you know, GG, right? Go for game. The 2 main ones you want is this Omega Shinron, because he's 30k triple strike, and this Omega Shinron Ultimate Darkness, because he's 30k triple strike. So pretty much both of these serve the same purpose. They're both 30k triple strike, so you definitely want to get these 2 out there, because if one of these 2 attack goes through, it should be game, because your opponent should have less than 3 life by the time you do this combo. So as you can see, it's the fact that the part of why I play that way, the whole block, negate, and just take the damage and try to avoid comboing, is because, you know, the way the game is, it's pretty simple. The first 4 damage is the easiest damage for you to do, whether you're a good player or not. The first 4 damage is pretty common for even bad players to be able to do. The next two requires a little bit of effort. You got to do something to try to do that last two, to do that 2 damage after the first 4. So that's a total of 6 damage, which means your opponent should be at 2 life by the time you get to turn 4 or 5 or 6, right? However way the game plays out. At some point, your opponent should be at 2 life, and that's going to be the hardest damage to deal, is those 2 damage, because your opponent's going to do everything they can to try to stop you. As you can see, there's so much defense, so much negates in each color. You see there was a lot of negates in yellow, just like there's a lot of negates in blue, right? And we got unison blockers, right? So defending and blocking is a lot easier, right? So it makes attacking a lot harder, right? So burn damage, mill are the best ways to win, because those are the hardest to defend, right? Your opponent can't block, negate, or out combo burn and mill. So that's the best route to go, is burn and mill, right? I was even thinking, like in this deck, I could still try to incorporate it. Like I could switch it up, take this unison out. It's a good unison, but I like using this one more than this one. Take this one out and incorporate the 2-drop Janimba unison. So let's go over here. No, not that one. Yeah, this one. I'll go here. And then go play this unison. Sorry. And then mill. And this is like the mill deck that I'm working on with Zamasu. Let's see. Yes, Zamasu. That's that extra deck. What is this? Okay, that's the yellow. That's the yellow Hachiyak deck that I'm working on. A new one, I should say. But as you can see, now here there's a lot of combo power, of course. A lot of 5Ks and 10Ks in there. But even because the point was, even with decks having a lot of combo power in there, I try not to combo. That's the point. That's the way I play. So that's why you'll see a deck like this and be like, oh yeah, a lot of combo power. That's good. That's a normal deck right there. Like, all right. But the way I play it, the way I play this deck, for example, the way I would play it would be a lot like if it was this deck, where there is little to no combo power. That's the thing. That's the way I play. The way I play is different than what you see, right? So this deck is more of a visual representation of how I play. You see, there's mainly just negates and blockers, which means there'll be times where if I can't negate, I can't block, that means I have no choice but to take damage, right? Because I have no combo power. So yes, negate, block, take damage. That's the way I play currently. I've been playing that way for a little less than a year, I should say. I've been playing that way of negate, block, and take damage. But I've always had that concept since the beginning of starting playing this game, is that it's like I don't want to combo. Not a fan of combo, because that's just a waste of cards. So I've been always looking for ways to make it where I don't have to combo. And that's where playing a whole bunch of negates, a whole bunch of blockers, specifically blockers that stay on the field, aka blocker unisons, is the route that I want to go by. Not only that, also leaders that have some type of defensive effect, some way of keeping themselves on the field keeping themselves alive longer, where I don't have to, negate, block, or even combo, right? And that's where the Fuse Zamasu comes in. So that's why my main decks that I have is Fuse Zamasu, which is this one, set 2 Zamasu, Boma leader, Hachiyak leader, right? And then Sin Shenron leader. Now, granted, Sin Shenron, I have the deck. He's not himself is not defensive. He's obviously an OTK strategy because of his awakened active main. So So the main deck is you know, where a lot of the defense comes from, and then I use the leader to do my win column, which is, you know, play a whole bunch of battle cards and go for game that way. This is the current 30K. This is the current version that I'm messing around with, which is the 30K variant. Normally I just have 20Ks and 30Ks, you know, with double strikes and stuff, but right now I'm like, 30Ks and triple strike. That's the route I want to go with that deck. So this, you know, this helps explain, you know, like why my decks look the way they look. And some people have been noticing that I have less and less combo power in my decks. It's like, yes, because I'm all about the endless combo concept, and this is part of that. The 4-star balls with the Goku The Adventure Begins, because the Adventure Begins allows me to search them out from my deck and add them to my hand so I can use them to combo. You notice that there's 0 cost. Like when I look at, especially when I look at this card, the way it looks with the gray gray color, it looks like an artifact, a zero cost artifact, which is why I like it, because it reminds me of 0 cost, you know, artifacts in Magic. Right, for those who might be interested, MTG Ornithopter. All right, let's see images so that we can get an idea. So this is like, I mean, I do have the updated version, but this is like, I think if I might still have this version. I used to have the brown, the old brown one, but this is like one of the starter ones. So you see it costs 0 up here. You see it's grayish, 0-2 flying. So I could play this for free, right? So that looks a lot like, you know, the 4-star ball. See, 0 cost, you know, generic card. So the concept is the same, right? So I'm taking ideas and ways I do things in other card games and bringing them all over here, and they work. So why not use what works, right? So this can be played for 0, right? I don't have to use energy to play. I can just play for free. So I can play for free and get 5K power to my leader or a battle card. Mainly I use this for my leader, and then this will always get it back from the drop to my hand. So I can always use it over and over and over again. So it's reusable. So it's reusable combo power. I call it endless combo because I could just keep using it. As long as I can keep getting the balls back to my hand, I can keep using them. So if they create more cards similar to this where I could just keep doing that over and over again, then, you know, I'll take advantage of that. Another thing I used to do was the skillless strategy of using, I don't have the cards here, but pretty much using something that can, well, it's a unison, Sin Shinron. See if I can go find them real quick. Okay. So much work. Sin Shinron Unison Rescue, right? Let's see. Unisons, black. All right, right here. And I definitely used to use this a lot with Bulma, because of the fact that I could bring back a skillless battle card, 2 costs or less, and she'll turn it into a blocker. So I will use this card as active main, +0 active main. If you have no skillless battle card in play a skillless battle card from your, 2 costs or less from your drop area. So I'll play a 20K skillless battle card that's red or yellow, that's the Saiyan or Earthling, and it becomes a blocker. And then I can use it to block, right? But if I'm not using the Bulma leader, I'm using something else, like let's say I'm using Hatchek or something, I will use this to bring back a skillless black, obviously the battle card has to be black, a skillless black battle card. That way, let's see if, go back, let's see if there's any ones that have combo power specifically, black, because some of them don't, so let's see which ones do. Alright, so see, most of them don't have combo power. See, but this one, the Shroom and Salsa, they do. This 1-drop Goku and Vegeta. So you see, there's at least 4. Alright, so there's 4 black skillless battle cards. There are 2 costs or less that do have combo power that I can use with that strategy. And right there, that gives me the endless combo concept, the ability to use Shenron to bring them back and then use them to combo defensively. As long as they're in active mode, obviously, right? So bring them back, they'll be in active mode, and just keep them there, and then when my opponent attacks my leader, it'll be like, all right, combo from my battle area. And I can just do that every turn for free, right? So that would be, you know, part of the endless combo concept. The thing is, you know, the strategy is not that perfect, because they could try to kill this to try, you know, attack this to try to kill it, to to disrupt my my little engine. So that's why I use the 4-star ball one specifically, because of the fact that my opponent can't get rid of the 4-star ball unless they start ripping cards out of my hands. They can't get rid of it. So when I need to use it to combo, then I can combo. What they can do, however, is try to get rid of this, but they have to try to get rid of this through skills, not through attacks, because this will be in, you know, an active mode. So while this is an active mode, it's safe. So unlike a unison, regardless of the unison's an active mode or not, right, it can always get attacked. So that's why that strategy is not the best. This one right here is so far been the best for this concept, for the endless combo concept. So since it works, and that's why I use it. That's why I use it in every deck, not just a deck that the leader is black. Obviously, something I could do, if I wanted to, was add Shroom or Salsa into the deck, so that way I can use this card's second active main, where I paid 2, and since my leader card is black, bring out a skillless battle card 3 costs or less. And I could bring out the Salsa or the Shroom and use them for combo power. I use them for 5k combo power, plus use the 4-star ball for extra 5k, and that's 10k, which I call it Uber, because, you know, Uber combo, because it makes it a lot like a super combo, but it's not an actual super combo. So that's why I call it Uber, which is German for essentially super. So Uber combo. So that's the Uber combo concept. When I combine the 4-star ball with something else, like a skillless battle card, and combo, and use both of them in a combo to create 10k combo power. So you get the idea. So I'm always trying to come up with creative ways and innovative ways to do things that everyone else ain't doing. Recently, people have been, you know, catching on to the 4-star ball strategy, and they've been, you know, thinking of using it. And I've seen some people actually have used it. I've seen some Hatchiac players recently use this engine in their Hatchiac deck, which is awesome. Yay, because it is good. Why not, right? Same thing with using Deadly Defender Goku in Hatchiac, because you could potentially absorb 2 attacks with that, because all you have to do is just use the 4-star ball, for example, or any of your battle cards in combo to try to keep this out on the field a little bit longer, you know, survive 1 attack. That way it could absorb a second attack. That way it could absorb 2 attacks, is what I'm saying. Survive. Your opponent has to attack it the first time to try to get rid of it, but if you protect it at least 1 time, it can absorb 2 attacks, because they'll need to do a second attack just to take it off the board. You know, and it has barriers, so attacking it will be the most common way to try to get rid of it. So that's the synergy that these 3 cards have together in this deck. So back to what I was talking about. Let's go back to the endless. To the extra deck, unison. So hopefully you get the idea of the whole blocker, negate, and take damage. It's just the way I play. Most people do play this way. Like this is pretty basic. In the sense that you're going to block, negate, or take damage or out combo at some point in a game. So you're going to be doing these things at any point. The main thing I'm trying to say is that I focus mainly on trying to minimize comboing and just negate, block, or just take the damage. Like, I'd rather take the damage than to waste cards from my hands trying to stop the damage I'm going to take, right? That's all I'm trying to say, is that I'd rather not combo. I'd rather block, negate, or just take the damage than to combo, is what I'm saying. So hopefully that clears that concept up, and if you're interested in using that concept yourself, go ahead. Practice makes perfect, as they say.